Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. It's another transfer one. The window has gone quick. Let's remember this. The transfer window this January will end on Tuesday. So the lead up to Tuesday is going to be very interesting. It kind of fills us with the content and with Chelsea related activity because we're not playing the FA Cup because we've been knocked out. So it's a little bit of a boring weekend for us, but not in terms of transfers because Chelsea apparently are going to be very, very busy. But it looks like we've hit a little bit of a road bump. Now, is this a road bump to be worried about? Is this a sort of road bump that will damage your suspension if you're driving over it? Or is it a road bump that's pretty fairly smooth and you don't realise it? We'll get into it. Before we do, I want to let you know, don't forget, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Links are in the description. And because I am on Twitter, I think it's safe to say we start with this as a little key of recognition, let's say, because it's the big man's birthday. Now, who's the big man? Our greatest ever manager, Mr. Jose Mourinho. Here it is. This is what I've put up on Twitter. Happy 60th birthday to our greatest ever manager, Jose Mourinho, legend. And yeah, big wishes go out to Jose on his 60th. Oh man, 60. I remember when he broke onto the scene with that Porto team and then he came to Chelsea and he was looked at as this young prospect manager who is just successful with everything he touches. And I remember that impact that was there, like Jose Mourinho, who is this guy? And people were raving about how young he looked and how successful he is so early in his career. And now he's 60, which in management is still quite young. Let's be honest, and he's won what he's won. Same could be said for Pep, and the managers that are coming through now are a lot younger than what they used to be. So it's going to be interesting to see how young are we going to go. Are we going to end up with a 25-year-old successful manager in the future? You never know. You never know. Anyway, let's see what happens. But happy birthday to the GOAT, to our greatest ever manager, till now, by a mile, Mr. Jose Mourinho. It's mad. Whenever I talk about Jose like this, I can't help but think in the future, maybe what happens? Are we getting the 3.0? Will it happen? Should it happen? Let me know in the comments if you'd be down for that. Let me know, because I got one part of me telling me, no, don't do it, Younes, no. And I got another part going, go on, let's have another one. Let me know down below. Let's get cracking with the Chelsea news because, as I've said, it looks like we've hit a couple of road bumps, not just one road bump, but we've hit a couple. Is this going to impact our business? What are we going to do for the rest of January? Well, let's get into it. This is Matt Law giving us the latest with Chelsea suffer double transfer setback. Malo has a supposed £35 million valuation, whilst Amadou Onana knocks back Chelsea approach. Chelsea are adamant they will not be held to ransom for either player. Goes on to say Chelsea were willing to offer players on loan to Everton for Onana, but those potentially included Chelsea could have a tough task to convince to go to Everton. Chelsea could make new bids for both Gusto and Onana. Bids for Enzo Caicedo still not ruled out. This is a little bit touch and go now, isn't it? Although, I do understand, and this is going to be the first time that we're seeing this situation with the new owners. When it was Roman and Marina and all of that, you knew once we got to a situation where we're not going to up the value or up the money to the value that's being asked for, well, we're going to go to a backup. And more times than not, the backup would end up being a Danny Drinkwater or a Ross Barkley. Or, we'd end up turning to players where it's like Bakayoko, where we just really shouldn't go. Now it's the first time we're getting this with the new owners. I'd like to think that, yes, it's a good strategy to not let the other team know that, you know what, I'm just going to give you what you want. That's not a wise business solution, right? So say, for example, Malo, Lyon are asking for 35. You'd think it'd be wise for Chelsea to just go, yeah, here's 35 then. No. On a business standpoint, I understand that you have to play a bit of hardball. You have to try and compromise and bring it down to the middle as much as possible, or try and get them to move into your favour a lot more. And that takes time. It takes time. You have to test the waters. You have to run with it, see what happens, and negotiate. And then eventually you'd come to an agreement. Malo Gusto wants the move. Lyon coming out and making it look like that Malo Gusto is not going anywhere and he's not for sale. And today they'd come out and said the president of Lyon had made it clear that Malo Gusto's staying till the summer. You can portray that in two ways. You can portray that in as how many people see it. Oh, he's telling Chelsea he's not going anywhere. You could also portray it as a double bluff, right? Where he knows that he's going, but he's going to make it look like, no, he's not going anywhere. So pay me 35 million, right? Or it could be a signal to other clubs to not get involved because Chelsea are going to take the player. And we want the deal done ASAP without any complications. So I understand that these sort of things are going to take a little bit of time, but it can't take too much time. We can't hang on till deadline day, because the problem with the one thing that I would criticize the previous ownership with, despite us doing the business that we did and winning the trophies that we did, was towards the end of Roman's time at Chelsea, we did get to a situation where we got to deadline day and it's just, panic buy, guys. Let's just panic buy. We can't really do that, man. Panic buying was not worth it. It's really not. Now, I'd like to think that, look, if it really comes down to it, if you really start to see that Lyon are not letting him go, no matter what you do or say, you turn around and go, okay, look, 35 million, here's 30. That's when you probably start having to be forced to, okay, here's the extra bit of money you're asking for. Let the player go. And that's on deadline day. That's if it really comes down to it. So I don't really think it's wise going to plan D, plan E, plan F, right? Plan A, plan B, okay, plan C, at worst. Let's not go further, because at that point, you're just plucking players out and hoping it's going to work. No. You have to identify who you want and go for them properly. So I'd like to think that with this situation now, Onana of Everton is someone I've not thought of. And I understand that in my previous video, I mentioned Onana and I thought it was the goalkeeper. It's not. It's Amadou Onana of Everton. Apparently, Amadou Onana is happy at Everton. Now, that doesn't make any sense to me. Unless if they already know who the new manager is going to be and he wants to give that a chance, then cool, fair enough. But I understand that Chelsea players don't want to go to Everton. I get that, right? I understand. So you know what? It's not an easy deal to do. Fair enough. The other bit of news about Everton that I thought I would interject with is that apparently they want Ziyech and they're willing to bid 25 million. It's cute. I understand Everton are going through hard times at the moment. So, you know what? Fair enough. But no deal. Keep dreaming. If you're going to get Ziyech for 25 mil, you can jog on. Yeah, jog on. But I sympathise because Everton have gone through a lot. It's not easy. Anyway, more news in relation to Malo Gusto from Matt Law saying, Chelsea have warned Lyon that despite preparing a new bid, they are not going to pay over the odds for their player, Malo Gusto. Fair enough. As I've just explained, fair enough. You have to get these warnings out and make it seem like you are the A-side. I'm the A-side, yeah? I want your player, but I am the A-side. You run how I want it to run. You don't run it how you want it to run and then expect me to just tag along. No. At best, we come to a compromise, but you're not willing to take what I'm offering now, or even just a little bit, or you start to get a little bit silly. Well, keep the player then. Keep the player. And you can bluff. You can bluff that way just to see the reaction. It doesn't necessarily mean you're pulling away from the negotiation. Look at Benfica and Enzo. He's not going anywhere. Yeah? All right, cool. No problem. What happens? Eventually, we're going back in for him. It's normal. So with this, it's wise of Chelsea to get the reaction of Lyon, see how they portray it. If we were to just go, you know what, we're not going to pay over the odds. Cool. Fair enough. And just see what happens. Because no one else is really entertaining putting that much money on the table for Malo Gusto. Does it mean that Chelsea might go and get someone else? They could. That means Gusto's stuck at Lyon. Despite Lyon, I think, being absolutely happy with him. But Gusto wants the move. The player does have power when it comes to that sort of negotiation, the agent, etc. So I honestly think that, I don't want to say, I reckon it will happen, but I think Chelsea are in a good position. And I think close to deadline day, I think Malo Gusto might come over the line. So we'll wait and see what happens. But that's my view on Malo Gusto and Onana. And add an extra point, Fabrizio has put this in, which is nice to hear, which is Chelsea will be busy in the next days. So that's definitely something to look forward to. And it's no surprise because our business is not done. I'd like to think, and it's getting tight because there's not much time, but yeah, Enzo, Caicedo, we're still going for. There's other midfielders apparently we're looking at. We'll wait and see who it's going to be, but time is ticking. The next couple of days, I would like big activity. I don't want to leave it till deadline day, because deadline day comes and all of a sudden everything turns into a panic, and we don't want that. We don't want that. We've had that enough. New owners, new chances. It's their first time at a transfer window properly. Make it good for us, please. Make it good. So there we are. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you have any ideas as to who you reckon Chelsea might go for if it doesn't happen with Enzo, Caicedo, Malo Gusto? Who do you reckon Chelsea will end up turning to if you reckon they had to? Do you reckon these deals will happen? Let me know. Much appreciated. And I will see all of you tomorrow for another one. Thank you all so much. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash like button if you have enjoyed this. And I will see all of you tomorrow. Have a good one, people. See you then. Take care and peace.